I hope that things don't escalate farther than they already have. It's clearly already causing me a great deal of stress and has been causing me a great deal of stress for many months now. And it's really just like a hell that I want to end. I really want it to end.
It's quite aligned, I would say.
Yeah, the mountains, the nature, the blues, the earth,
the big circle and the big triangle. You have to be ready to do the work, and then you will get the benefits of it. And I guess that in our visuals and messaging, I think will be really appealing to the right people who are like, they're not promising me an easy fix. Yeah. This looks like a journey, and I'm ready for the journey. And I'm not going to download Calm or Headspace. I'm going to download this app with the mountains.
Well, basically, when you look at the core of the app, currently writing our pitch deck, so it's quite interesting. We have our core daily embodiment loop. Then we have our adaptive sessions. Then we have our community layer. The thing that's going to drag people in and keep them to stay is what I'm calling the Duolingo of self-actualization. So every user is guided through their own pathway up the mountain where they start to learn more and uncover more about themselves, and they go through these programs just day by day. A program could take weeks, months, depending on whether the user wants to engage. Certain elements of the app will not unlock until you have reached that next stage. You know, you've actually gone through the journey, because we can't fully offer you what it is that you need unless you show up and climb the mountain, because this is hard work, right? So how do we motivate our users to really do the work?
To add on that note, I'm seeing this, I feel like our branding is lacking a touch of abstract art. Like what I'm seeing here, this needs to be integrated, I feel.
Well, I feel like this is what Marius does so well in his work. Like, he's a genius with it. I'm always just blown away by Marius's work.
Just responding to what you say, what I'm trying to do in my visuals when I create my art is to, let's say, make it real, but to that extent that you're not really sure if it's real or not. You know, so there's a tension, and that tension grabs you so that you feel something when you see it. That will be the goal for this project as well, to create something like that. That seems like it could be of this world, but at the same time, it couldn't, could it? Okay, we'll move it on. Bit pressed on time.
Another great meeting with Marius' team, and I just get flooded with so much gratitude, and I always get really emotional whenever I see the team together, especially when things over the last week or so have been so heavy and so hard, and I've had a meltdown or two. And to get everybody under one roof talking about our values, talking about what ReAlign is, like as a brand, as a core, as an identity, and how we want to show up in the world. You know, the words that are coming up on the screen, the conversations that we're having, and the truth that is rising to the surface. It is unbelievable. Moments like this, I don't even know how to put it into words. Yeah, I always end up crying, because just to hear my people and hear them speak their words and see their reflection of their vision for ReAlign. This began with me, but it's being built with a team. It's not about me, it's about us. We're here to help resolve the root cause of suffering and fragmentation from the self, and I'm really proud of my team. So if you're watching this, team, thank you for being here. I brought myself somewhere new today because I needed to remember who I am beneath all of this doing. There's this beautiful tension in me, the part that clearly craves slow living and regulated being, and the part that won't rest until this vision becomes real. 16 hours at a screen versus surrender to the soft girl life my heart whispers about. Things cannot stay as they are. The sea always knows how to baptize away what no longer serves. DJ Sia on the mic. Well, here I am with one of these things. This is my little mini recording studio. I'm recording a few static meditations to do a few things. Train an AI voice on my voice. Outline the first 5 days of something we're going to be testing with our first users. And as I do this, I really just am very mindful to know what kind of energy state I'm currently in and how that's getting getting translated into what the user is listening. Energy hygiene is really important for things like this, right? Because it's a transfer of energy to those who are listening. I'm feeling a little bit heavy today. I've had some problems with the team over the last few months, and unfortunately I had to let one of the team members go yesterday, which has been really heavy and emotionally quite draining. That's been quite a difficult experience. That's just weighing on me because I've only ever really wanted to be a good leader. I'm very protective of my people. I want to be able to serve, to be able to support everybody around me. But when you come to the realization that you've made the wrong hire and that no amount of time or training or the blind leading the blind is going to achieve the results that we need, the output that we need. So yeah, that's feeling heavy. But then also, there's only so much I can sit and meditate and take time off and give myself excuses as why not to record. I need to record, so that's what I'm here to do. I hope it turns out good because I'm recording this with all of the love and the intention that my heart can possibly hold. So if you get the pleasure of listening to any of these meditations, I hope you feel that. What brings you to ReAlign? Perhaps you're seeking relief from stress. Maybe you're curious about the science of mindfulness. Or perhaps someone you trust recommended you give this a try. Whatever led you here, you've made the right choice. So I've been having a little bit of a panic over the past few hours, and I noticed it in my body, and I noticed the tension, and it's always here. It's here in my chest, in my clavicles, in my throat, and I noticed it. And I thought, right, okay, let's finish off whatever the mind wants to finish off in work. Get up, move outside and sit to do some breath work. So I did 20 minutes of breath work with somebody on YouTube called Breathe with Sandy. He has these fantastic sessions that mix breath retentions with all of the main breathing techniques, whether that's box breath, 4-7-8, triangle breath, and then these amazing breath retentions. It's different whether you have the breath retention on an inhale or on an exhale. It has a different physiological change in the body. So I've had to place a boundary and ask not to have any of these phone calls or messages. I hope that things don't escalate farther than they already have. It's clearly causing me a great deal of stress for many months now. And it's really just like a hell that I want to end. And I never wanted it to be like this. And I think I've really learned that whoever we hire at ReAlign, they have to be an A player. Amazing, dedicated. It's not been a question of whether or not this person cared about ReAlign. Can they get the job done? Do they have the experience? I was naive. Breath is the strongest, most powerful way to just immediately dislodge that terror, that panic in the body, move it and transform it in a positive way. Yeah, I just thought I would share these practices. They work. I'm feeling much calmer, not feeling 100%, but I'm much better. I don't feel as though I'm about to spiral, about to cry, or about to panic like I did earlier. I can get on with my day and be prepared for my next meetings. When I get dysregulated like this, it affects everybody. Blockers holding up the company because I am not physically able to work on what I need to in order to unblock things for other people. I'm really happy that I did that breathwork session. That is one of the main and the core things that we're teaching here at ReAlign, like how to regulate the body. So if you're ever in a messy moment, don't forget that boundaries are leadership. And sometimes a single breath is all it takes to reset everything. Not fix everything, but give us the space we need from the tiger our body thinks is chasing us. Everything will be okay. A dear friend invited me to Tierra Iris for a ceremony. This is a once-a-year gathering with a Rika shaman, a sacred, intimate kind of invitation that means you belong. I met Layla there, and turns out she'd been following my journey online, and within minutes we were holding hands through the medicine like old friends. The ceremony was gentle, but looking around that fire, I heard my own story reflected in every face. Their pain was my pain, their exhaustion mine, and I knew that acceptance I'd been avoiding for so long had finally arrived. Something was about to release.
You should have some cheese with this. I have brie as well. Would you like some now?
Sure, yeah. While I find a book.
I go find cheese.
Imagine for a moment that you are in a dream. You find yourself at a huge party with thousands of people, where you are the only sober person and everyone else is drunk. A few people are only tipsy, most fall into general drunkenness, and a handful are making spectacles of themselves. But you quickly realize that their intoxication level has altered their ability to communicate clearly. Each person is experiencing the party differently, from happy to sad, excited to apathetic. They fight and make up, argue, embrace. This type of odd behavior repeats itself endlessly and cycles throughout the night. Then it occurs to you that this is not a new party, but one you've attended before. At one point, you were just like them. No one there realizes you are now sober. They think you are still drunk, just like them. They view you only as a distortion, projected by their minds. They are also completely unaware of the true effect that liquor is having on them. They continually try to entice you to join the drama of the party. A Toltec warrior clears her mind of beliefs and attachments, marking the end of a war within herself. She has no demands for any outcome. And as a result, the pure joy of realizing that she is alive at this moment.
Yeah, the majority of people are running away from themselves. They don't want to be in the present moment. It's so uncomfortable for them. They feel the need to become intoxicated.
Beyond substances, in what ways are we still falling for the dream of our lives and getting caught up in the drama?
Without certain practices, you can't wake up in the moment. That's why interception is so important. Being able to notice when you're dysregulating, you need a slow morning, lie out in the sun, listen to your podcast and not work.
What are your eject buttons?
Breathing, meditation, somatics, walking, speaking, hanging out with people. All the basic stuff. Society overlooks massively. It may be uncomfortable in the beginning, but you get to a certain point where things start to align. That practice keeps you on the path, keeps you aligned. Being human is like being drunk. We just have this monkey mind. If you don't find a way to override that monkey mind, if you don't actually direct the course of your life, then it will direct you, and then you'll just call it fate.
And yet it's a continuous, eternal remembrance of it. We're constantly forgetting it and constantly remembering. I guess that's part of the design as well, so that we can enjoy the human experience while we're here and get lost in the dream momentarily.
Layla stayed with me for a few weeks after the ceremony, quietly watching me work myself into the ground. She showed me the mirror that broke everything open. Why do you say your life feels so hard? It doesn't need to be hard. She was right. I'd built the lifestyle I'd dreamed of, financial abundance, created work I believe in, found myself on this magical island, and I was and am finding a way to work myself into the ground. Building a wellness company from depletion? The irony isn't lost on me. I think it's something I've known for the longest time, but haven't been willing to face the truth of. The how and the why, that's next week's story.